The second part of the grammar here will be about the rewrite. Rewrite the following sentences using the words between the brackets. We are planning to go to Spain next summer. This is a kind of the future tense, next summer. Okay, we have here, we are planning. Okay, I'm not going to use here are planning, I'm going to use the word intend. So we intend to go to Spain next summer, and this will express the idea of the future because you have an intention to do something in the future. So we use here we intend to spend or to go to Spain at the summer holiday. Number two that you have it here, I have never heard such a sad story. Ask yourself this one in the question form. Have you ever heard such a sad story? The answer will be not. So you are going to say, or you talk about this idea, changing the this kind of adjective from the comparative form into the superlative form. So in the superlative form, it will be saddest because of the CVC rule, consonant, vowel, consonant. So you are going to say, it's the saddest story I have ever heard. It's the saddest story I have, it would cross never and could ever. It's the saddest story I have ever heard. It's the saddest story I have ever heard. It's the saddest story I have ever heard. Number three, he started painting 15 years ago. Okay, so here you know that the idea of painting for him started 15 years ago. So you are going to use your for. Of course, you will cancel ago. Okay, and ask yourself here, this happened, took a long time or a short time? It took a very long time. So you are going to say, he has painted or he has been painting. Yes, he has been painting because it took here a very long time. It took here a very long time. So he has been painting for 15 years. Number four, she hasn't finished decorating the flat yet. Okay, so you have here the word yet, okay, which means that the action did not finish. You have here hasn't finished. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that this person is still doing something. So she is still decorating the flat. She is still decorating the flat. She is still decorating the flat as we have it here. Number five, when did the graduate or when did they graduate from college? You have here how long ago? Simply how long ago, expressing the question in the past simple tense. And here the sentence or the question is already in the past simple tense. So what will you do here? That you're going just to cross the word when and you're going to use how long ago. So you will say, how long ago did they graduate from college? How long ago did they graduate from college? Okay, if you're gonna move here to the next one, okay, number six. It's 2 years since I went on holiday. Take care of this sentence. It's 2 years. I have here 2 years and I did not do anything. Okay, I went on holiday. So if I go to the holiday and came back, it will be like I have been to this place or I have been doing something like that. But if you did not do it, you are going to say, I haven't been, because you did not do this one for 2 years. I haven't been on holiday for how many years? For 2 years. So I haven't been on holiday for 2 years. I haven't been on holiday for 2 years, as we have it here in the answer. She began to play tennis when she was 10. She began to play tennis when she was 10. It means here that this is a tennis, this kind of game. She has been playing this one for 10 years, right? But you are going to use here the word since. Since is followed by the past simple tense. So you are going to use this sentence. You'll cross when, and you are going to say here that she has been playing tennis since she was 10. Since she was 10. Okay. Can I count the years? Of course not, because I do not know how old she is now. So I can't use this one here. So it will be, she has been playing tennis since she was 10. Number 8, he's the kindest man I have ever met. Have you ever met any man like this one before? No, never. It never happened. So it has here two kind of answers. You can say, I have never met a man as kind as this one. So use here the adjective kind, okay? And you use it here to compare it or to say that no one for me I have ever met like this man. I have never met such a kind man before, which means that I say here that this man is one of a kind. I've never met someone like him before. I have never met such a kind man before. It means that this is the best man. This is the kindest man I've ever met in my life. Okay, you can memorize this kind of form for this kind of answer, and I think it would be a piece of cake starting from now. After she had sold her flat, she moved into her house. As we know before, until here, we use the second action, which is in the past simple tense and in the negative form. And after until, I'm going to use the past perfect tense. So I have here the past perfect tense, she had sold, and I have here this action. I'm going to put it in the past simple negative. So moved will be didn't move. So I will say she didn't move into a house until she had sold her flat, until she had sold her flat. A kind of order in the sentence, and it will make it the best one. Paul saw the rain clouds and started to hurry. Okay, as soon as is followed by the first action in the past perfect, and then the second action in the past simple. So what happened first? Paul saw the rain. So here saw will be had and the past perfect seen, okay, the clouds, and started to hurry. So as soon as Paul had seen the rain clouds, what happened? He started to hurry or he hurried. You can use any of them, okay? So as soon as Paul had seen the rain cloud, he started to hurry. No one has found the treasure yet. Change into passive. Ask yourself a question. Okay, this one here is in the present perfect. Yes, has found. What is the passive form of the present perfect? You're going to use them between the helping verb and the main verb, and you start with the object. So the treasure has not been found. Okay, I have here yet, right? So the treasure hasn't been found yet. The treasure hasn't been found yet. Okay, the treasure hasn't been found yet. Okay, and if you need to add by, you're going to say here by anyone because you have no one here at the beginning. He wasn't watering the garden when you called him. I need to start here with the garden, and the garden here was the object. Okay, so the garden wasn't being watered by him when you called. Okay, so the garden wasn't being watered by him when you called. Okay, if you have to use the word gardens, it will be the gardens weren't being watered when you called him. Okay, the gardens weren't being watered when you called him. Number 13. Did you take the children to the park last Friday? Did you take the children to the park last Friday? So I'm going to use here into also the past passive. Okay, because here I have did. I'm going to cancel it. I'm going to look here at the object. So the children in the past passive, I'm using was or were plus the past participle. So the children take where. So where the children taken to the park last Friday? Where the children taken to the park last Friday, as you can see here. Who teaches French at your school? I have to look at the verb. The verb here is in the present simple tense, and I'm going to put it here in the passive form. Am is our past participle. So who is French taught by at your school? Why should you add by here? Because you do not know who is the person who is doing this kind of action. Who is French taught by at your school? Who is French taught by at your school? The next one. Has the secretary sent the reports yet? This is here in the, I need to put it in the passive form, and the passive form here is of the perfect tense. Has and have, as we said, and been, and so on. So the object here, the reports. So have the reports been sent by the secretary yet? Have the reports been sent by the secretary yet? Who is washing the car now? Also in the passive, but this one here in the present continuous. Am is are, being plus the past participle. So who is the car being washed by now? As we said, when I have who, I have to add the word by because the doer of the action is unknown for me. Judy showed her friends the photos. Judy showed her friends the photos. Here you have a special case because here you have two objects, object number one, object number two, and you are free to start with the one that you like, okay, as we have here in this one. So the photos were shown to Judy's friend by her, or Judy's friends were shown the photos by her, okay. Take care, the first object, her friends. If you have her and you have the name, you have to mention the name, like here, Judy's friends, not her friends. Judy's friends were shown the photos by her, or the photos were shown to Judy's friend by her. The past simple passive was where plus the past participle, as you can see here. Does he feed the pets daily? Does he feed the pets daily? This is here kind of the present simple passive, the present simple passive. How can I make it in the present simple passive? I have am, is, are, past participle. So I look here for the object. So are the pets fed daily? Are the pets fed daily? At this time here, I know that this one is in the passive form. Are the pets fed daily? He met his best friend while wandering at the park. He met his best friend while wandering at the park. I have here met in the past simple, and I have wandering verb ing after while. So when I'm going to use here when I'm going to use when, I have to find here the subject at the second sentence before I'm going to work with this sentence. So here I have, he was wandering at the park when he met his best friend. So you put here the subject he, you add the helping verb was in the past continuous. So he was wandering at the park when he met his best friend. Past continuous, past simple. Number 20, by the time I arrived, my mom had prepared lunch. After, as we said, is followed by the first action in the past perfect, second action in the past simple. Where's the first action here? Yes, this one. Second action, yes, this one. I'm going to cancel by the time. It will be after my mom had prepared lunch, I arrived. Which one happened first? That my mom prepared lunch. Which one happened second? Which one happened second? That we have this kind of form. Okay, let's move to the next one. Ted has been learning English for 9 years. So when you say since, you will keep the same structure of the sentence. You're going to change here only this part. You're going to have the new year 2021 minus 9 years. It will be 2012. 2012. So Ted has been learning English since 2012. This is the beginning or the starting point of the action. This will be the beginning or the starting point of the action. He booked the ticket, then he went to the cinema. He booked the ticket, then he went to the cinema. I need to use here by the time. Book the ticket, this is the first one, okay? And then the second one, he went to the cinema. Before the word booked, you are going to use had because this is past perfect. So by the time here in the middle, by the time in the middle, I'm going to cross, then it will be, he had booked the ticket by the time he went to the cinema. He had booked the ticket by the time or before he moved or he went to the cinema. While he was driving home, he saw a horrible accident. When you're going to use when, it's followed by the past simple. So you'll cross while and you'll change or swap the sentences. So it will be when he saw a horrible accident, he was driving home. I had my breakfast by the time I came home or I came here. I will cross by the time at first. Until before it, I have second action in the negative form, and then I have the past perfect tense. Where the second action came, it will be didn't come, and had will be followed by or will follow the word until. So I didn't come here until I had my breakfast. Until I had my breakfast. Okay, as you can see here. Mona hasn't phoned me since last year. So how long time or how long Mona didn't phone you or hasn't phoned you? I can say here it's a year because he said here last year. It's a year, or it's here can has another meaning like has. It has been a year since Mona has phoned me. Has phoned or phoned of course, because you have here since, and phone since is followed by the past simple tense. It's a year, or it's been a year since Mona phoned me. Number 26, he has been living in this city for 20 years. For 20 years. So I have here since, as we did in the past one, you can say here since this was made for the past year. So you can add one here to be 2001. Okay. Number 27, it has been raining since yesterday. How long? How long? So you are going to ask about how long has it been raining? How long has it been raining in the question form. I have never studied Chinese before, yet for the negative and the question, never here negative, so you'll cross never. It will say, you will say here, I haven't studied Chinese yet. I haven't studied Chinese yet. Millions of people speak Spanish around the world, changing to passive. Spanish here is the object, so I will say Spanish, okay? Is spoken, because speak here in the present simple. Spanish is spoken by millions of people around the world. A present simple passive, am is our past participle, the past participle form of speak, speak, spoke, spoken, and we have it here. Molly sat on the sofa, then she had a nap. As soon as, like after, as we said, followed at first by the first action. Okay, this is had. Okay, and here I crossed then. So as soon as Molly had sat on the sofa, she had a nap. She had a nap. Okay, next one. I've been correcting the sheets of my students all day. Form a question. So you ask here simply about the kind of activity that this person has been doing all day. You can say, what have you been doing all day? What have you been doing all day? What have you been doing all day? The last time we saw Sandy was 2 weeks ago. So we haven't seen Sandy for, sorry, 2 weeks ago. Yes. So we haven't seen Sandy for 2 weeks. We haven't. Why did you use here haven't? Because he said the last time I saw her was 2 weeks ago, which means actually I did not meet her till now. So we haven't seen Sandy for 2 weeks. The train from Cairo to Alexandria will leave at 8 a.m. We said that the fixed timetable, we should use with them the present simple tense. So I cannot use here will leave. Okay, the train is a singular one, so I'm going to add to the verb leave s. It will be the train from Cairo to Alexandria leaves at 8 a.m. Leaves at 8 a.m. Number 34, I had no sooner entered the house than the phone rang. No sooner can be replaced by the word hardly. In the middle, you do not use then, use the word when. So I had hardly entered the house when the phone rang. When the phone rang. Number 35, Simon hurt his leg climbing a tree. So Simon hurt his leg while, I have here two options, while climbing a tree, or you can say while he was climbing a tree. While he was climbing a tree. Number 36, no sooner had we entered the room than they started clapping. So hardly, I'm going to use here hardly in the middle, not at the beginning. So I will use at the beginning we, the subject. We had hardly entered the room. I will say here when. Okay, so I will cross no sooner. We had we, as we can see it here, we had hardly entered the room when they started clapping. When they started clapping. Okay, when they started clapping. Okay, the next one. Hardly had I seen the thief when he started running. As we said, After hardly or no sooner at the beginning, we have the past perfect in the question form. You have the helping verb, you have I, the subject, and then you have the past participle. So when you talk about this one, you say that I, yes, had no sooner seen the thief. When will be then? When will be then? So you will say, I had no sooner seen the thief than he started running. 38. Hardly had Alice seen her mother when she started crying. No sooner had Alice seen her mother, yes, than she started crying, as we know before. Mom has been to the supermarket. We are waiting for her. So I have you correct the mistake. We are waiting for her. It means that my mom did not come back so far. So I'm going to cancel them. I'm going to use gone. So mom has gone to the supermarket. We are waiting for her. The last one, number 40. What time is the play starting tonight? The play, the concert, any kind of fixed timetable, we cannot use the past as the present continuous. We use here the present simple. So what time does the play start tonight? What time does the play start tonight? Because this is in the present simple tense with the fixed timetable. Okay, thank you for this part.